Hi boys and girls, Miss Reichert here. I'm going to be reading chapter 26, part 1 of our Read Aloud Rump, Destiny Calls. I was not safe and neither was anyone who cared about me. I tried to brush off the feeling, especially when I sat with my aunts in the warmth of their home, eating their good food and watching their magical spinning and kneading and weaving. But it was no use. The more I tried to tell myself not to worry, the more I worried and knew that I had to leave. I left my aunts on a frigid morning without so much as a goodbye. I couldn't risk them knowing where I was headed, and I didn't think I could bear the looks on their faces, especially Ida. I would miss her most. I would miss our rhymes. I made up a farewell rhyme as I walked away. Home is a place with 3 dear aunts. They cook good food and sew nice pants. They spin and knit and weave and mend. Goodbye for now, my 3 dear friends. I walked through the forest while it was still dark. My satchel weighed down on my shoulder, heavy with the food I had stolen from my aunts. My stomach was heavy with guilt. The frozen snow crunched beneath my feet. I had decided I would go to the mountains beyond. It was the farthest place from the kingdom that I knew of. I could live all alone in the mountain cave, far away from anyone, and herd goats and live off their milk and whatever the land would give me. I had considered going back to the trolls, thinking they might be able to protect me from my own magic. But I wasn't too fond of the idea of eating sludge for the rest of my life. My stomach wiggled and thought. Besides, they were so close to the kingdom, and I knew they got news of the wedding and babies. The risk was too great. I emerged from the trees and was on the road before dawn. The air was bitter cold, and I wrapped myself tighter inside the thick coat of my aunts had made me. Soon I'd left the village behind. Before long, I heard muffled voices in the distance. It was still dark, but I could just make out the shadowy movements of something farther up the road. I veered off into the trees. It might just be a farmer bringing wool to the village, or a peddler coming to trade his trinkets and treasures. But I didn't want anyone to see me. As they drew near, their voices became clear. "I don't think this is right," said a boy's voice. It was irritably familiar. "The woman said he came this way," said another voice, also familiar. "But she didn't see the gnome. We were supposed to be following the gnome. If you hadn't lost it." "It's impossible to keep up with the gnome." "You idiot. And anyway, it doesn't matter. We're on his trail. When I find that butt, I'm going to punch him so hard he sees pixies." "You punch like a girl, Frederick." "Quiet. If we don't find him, Father's going to make us go back to the mountain and work in the mines. Do you want that?" "No." A chill ran down my spine. That had nothing to do with the freezing air. My heart began to thump in my chest. Frederick and Bruno were standing just feet away from me. I shifted nervously, and a dead twig snapped beneath my boot. "Shh! Did you hear that?" "Probably a rabbit." I held very still. Frederick moved in my direction. If he came any closer, I would need to run. I stepped back, bracing myself. This is where I would like to really complain about the Witch of the Woods advice. You see, if you're going to give someone advice, it's important to be specific. Watch your step. It's not specific at all. You take a lot of steps every day, so it would really help to know which step to be careful on. Watch your step when you're around poop or a trap. Watch your step when you're near a tower window or a pixie nest. I stepped on a pixie nest. I think my Aunt Hadel's advice was also lacking. Waking one pixie from its winter sleep is foolish. Waking a nest full of pixies is a death wish. A piercing shriek exploded from the ground and filled the air so that it must have reached every ear within a mile. Pixies shot out and pelted toward me like 1,000 tiny arrows, pink and blue and red and orange sparks. Their teeth bared for war. I screamed like a mountain lion and fell onto the ground and rolled, throwing mud and dirt all over. But those pixies bit my nose, my cheeks, my ears, and all 10 of my fingers. They bit clear through my clothes, onto my arms and legs. 3 went up my pants and bit me, right on my leg. Finally, the pixies flew away through the trees, either satisfied that they had punished me enough or tired of the dirt. I could feel all of my body parts beginning to swell. My bottom expanded beneath me. My legs felt like fat logs floating on water, just bobbing around without any control. My face puffed up, making my skin stretch and tighten. Although my eyes were swollen nearly shut, I could see enough to know that Frederick and Bruno were standing over me. They were soldiers' uniforms, and both pointed big hunting knives right at my face. And that is the end of part 1 for chapter 26. Bye.